Hey guys, welcome to today's 1/6 Galaxies video. Today we are taking a look at the EXO-6 Lieutenant Commander Geordi Laforge from Star Trek The Next Generation TV series. So I did purchase this directly from EXO-6. I really should have had this figure a week ago, but because of, I suppose the way they post them out or whatever, there was a bit of a delay, and then when it got to Australia there was a further delay, and then I finally got him yesterday, but he was in Australia for a solid week before leaving customs, so I don't know what that was all about. Now the other thing is as well is a lot of people say, oh, why are you so critical of these things? Their price point is much cheaper, yada yada yada. Can I just say, with the adding deposit back into the final invoice for the figure and the shipping, and after you put in the currency conversion rate, this was actually about $404. And to put that into perspective, my Hot Toys Commander Fox was $325, and my Hot Toys Valkyrie was $380, and my Hot Toys Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was 405 Australian. So this guy was more expensive than some Hot Toys I've gotten this year, and on par with the standard version of the Hot Toys Spider-Man. And it's just that EXO-6 have been slowly increasing their costs per figure, as have many 1/6 scale companies, of course, over the last few months. But yeah, it's just the fact that this guy was definitely on par with purchasing a Hot Toy that's for at least in Australia. I'm assuming if you're paying with the American currency and whatnot, fine, he's probably is going to be cheaper for you. But for those that are international customers, these are starting to be in Hot Toys price territory, and they have been in Hot Toys price territory for quite some time now. So roughly they've been anywhere between 360 and now 405 Australian for 6. Anyway, now that information's out of the way, let's get started. So it is the standard window box slipcover that we've gotten from EXO-6 and all their other releases. Tells us that it's the Next Generation Star Trek. You'll notice it says standard version. That's because there are two versions of this figure. This version and then the essential version, just coming with what you would call the essentials from EXO-6's marketing point of view. So the side of the box is going to have that Next Generation image, similar to how the Voyager line or whatever all have their cast. The Next Generation one does the same. Of course, previous figures are Q, the data that was recently released. We know Picard is up for order, and now Geordi. So hopefully we do get Diana, Worf, Riker, and Beverly sometime soon. I'm definitely holding out for them, as this would be my favorite line. I did collect the Voyager line simply for the fact that I did watch a fair bit of Voyager, but yeah, I wasn't interested in any of their other lines, just this and Voyager, and I have a couple of the old QMX original series figures, so I'm waiting to see what they do with them. So the back of the box shows you an image of the figure and everything it comes with, as long as what everything is called, which is quite cool. You'll notice that it tells you underneath the standard version has the exclusive accessories there that are listed. There's all your choking information and whatnot, and when you lift the slip cover, there is credits and a QR code that will take you to the instructions. So it tells us it's Next Generation. Coming down, we have the logo that they use for the figure line. So that about does it for the box. Now, there is an under tray. So it's not like sides whatever where they have two trays on top of each other. This one is you have the main tray, and then there is a plastic section underneath that you need to pull away that will reveal the standard version accessories. My guess is they've done this simply so they didn't have to do 2 boxes. They could have just done 2 trays and then put the tray under the relevant editions. Okay, so first of all, we are of course going to get the museum card that we've gotten for the others. So stuff at which Narkarov tells us it's the Enterprise D and it's Lieutenant Commander Geordi Laforge. Pretty cool. Works the same way it does with all the others. You do of course still get the second stand option, and then all those little connectors if you wish to connect it up to other bases and whatnot. So you still get all of that. So we of course get the hand for holding the phaser. Now this is really cool. They've really thought about this figure in terms of quality. So you can see that they've changed the skin tone on the outside and the lighter inside as it would actually be. So that's quite nice that they've put in that much effort. We get this hand here for holding the pad or the tricorder. In the standard edition tray, actually I think we'll stick to the first tray first, sorry. So we of course get the magnetic holster. There's no difference to any of the previous ones, and it does sit nicely on the figure. We of course get the tricorder. Now this is a different design. This is obviously the next generation design, so we can see all the detailing in here. And then it is magnetic as per always, so we just open it up and magnet the 2 sides together. And I think these decals are exclusive to this version. I haven't got the next generation data because I have the first contact data, but I would assume that this is the same design of the one that came with data, but it's the first time I'm seeing it, so there's that. We of course get the second magnetic holster, just plain black. That's also going to magnet quite nicely to the figure's outfit. And then we are going to get the next generation style phaser, which again for the most part has some nice detailing and paint. And then of course you have the figure's display stand, which in the default setting is the center of the transporter pad. Apologies, they're reflecting. And then you've got the little section there for the name card. So that is everything the figure comes with had you purchased the essential version. Because essentially you get the 2 pairs of hands, the phaser and the tricorder. And of course, I do apologize, I suppose it is probably its own accessory, is of course Geordi's visor. On the inside you can see that it's just got the silver and the black, but on the outside it is very nicely painted and looks like you would expect it to look. There is a little slot for his nose there, so that way you know which way is which, but we're just going to put that back on the sculpt. So yeah, that is everything you get with the Essentials version. The visor, the phaser, tricorder, and the 2 holsters with the 2 hands. Now, as I said, there is a second tray for the standard version, and you are going to get the pad. Now, I think this is the same as Janeway's, but you can see there, but there's this number on it, and there's some little writing, and then we have some decals there. So, quite nicely detailed, quite nicely painted. We're going to get this pair of clasped hands. So done very nicely. We're going to get the fisticuffs. And then we're going to get this kind of action hand as well. Now perhaps the coolest accessory is you are going to get the engineering field kit. So it does come in a Starfleet case like so. And then you are actually going to be able to open it. Now these do come out of the case when you first get the figure. I've just placed them in there for effect, but you do get a variety of tools. And it is kind of felt on the inside there, so it feels quite nice. So we are going to get this tool, again very nicely labeled and painted. We're going to get this tool. And finally, we are going to get this tool. So you can see he does come with a fair bit, which is quite nice. Keeping in mind that everything we saw from the second tray is just in that standard version. If you got the Essentials version, you're only getting those accessories from the beginning of the video. And then of course you can just clip your case shut once everything is back inside. Now the other really bizarre thing is there's no actual hand for the case, and you have to kind of just use the relaxed hands. Yeah, you just have to kind of use the relaxed hands to try and balance it on. It doesn't work too well, but at least they included it. And if you want to play around with it, I'm sure you can get him to hold it quite well. Alright, let's get Geordi out here. So this figure is a perfect example of EXO-6 putting in more resources and more effort in some lines rather than others. So we know that figures from the Voyager line, like Paris, the lightness was a bit off, and of course Janeway, the paint app could have been a bit better, and things like that. And we've got figures like the First Contact figures that look amazing, and then we have this guy, which by the end of the video I'm sure you will think he's amazing too. It's just really, we'd suppose with the price point going up, they really had to nail this guy, otherwise people wouldn't invest further. And from what I could see, they definitely nailed Data from Next Generation as well. So it seems to me that Next Generation and I don't, like I said, I didn't buy the Kirk or the Spock this time around, but it seems that the 2 flagship series is where the most money and the most effort is going, and the Voyager line wasn't terrible, but there were some features being left to be desired. Alright, so we can see that he is wearing his visor. It is removable, obviously I showed you before, and I will show you what's underneath that. It is an is a yellow engineering outfit. You see the pips. We see her making the holsters. Coming down, it's the dress pants and dress shoes. So Ken, we can see that the visor is very nicely done and the hair is done quite well too. Articulation wise is going to be the same as every other figure. There's no real costume change. It's just, of course, the engineering colors as opposed to the other colors and designs from the previous figures. Again, another look at those pips there. And we can see so it does just lift off, and again we can see what an excellent likeness this figure has. So I can't remember from now, but I would assume that there are episodes where he does not have the visor on, but very first contact like seeing him without the visor. So you can display him like this, or of course you can display him with the visor. It is obviously really up to you. And of course we can see the tech that the visors would connect to on that face as well. But yeah, overall I think they have done a really, really good job with this guy. I am really hoping we get a Riker or a Worf pre-order sometime soon, and then the 2 ladies follow, because having the entire Next Generation crew would really be amazing for the collection. So again, I have the Voyager crew. I have what we've gotten of is obviously Geordi, but I've got the First Contact Picard and the First Contact Data, and then I've got the original QMX, the original series. The only original series one I don't have is Sulu, because he didn't make it to Australia. The figure was already, QMX had already gone under, and they decided that they weren't going to honour all orders. So they shipped the American portion of the orders, but didn't do the Australian portion or third party sellers. And ordering from the Australian retailer just meant that I simply missed out. So hopefully we see a Sulu original series pre-order. That's not too hard to get. We'll see. As said, the prices of these are rising, but you can see that he did have more accessories than standard figure, so the price went up for that. But yeah, it is going to be really interesting to see how they go before wrapping up. There is a lot of Section 31 talk. I'm hoping that Sulu isn't a part of that. I don't think that Sulu would be a part of that. But I'm hoping that Crusher and Latroy are also done as normal figures, since the other ladies from Voyager and Deep Space Nine were done as standard releases. There's no reason why they shouldn't either. So again, it's just a matter of lining up the visor. And putting a little bit of pressure on it to keep it steady. It is something that is probably going to fall off if you continually knock it. So I would put him where you're not going to have very many vibrations mucking it up. There it is there, and again you can probably get it sitting a bit better than that anyway. But yeah, it's just about trying to get it straight, trying to get it lined up, and then obviously not knocking it off. Anyway guys, this has been our look at Lieutenant Commander Geordi Laforge from The Next Generation. Hopefully you found this information useful. Keep an eye out for more videos coming soon.